Hello, and welcome to Twin Peaking, where I showed my friend Jay my personal list of worst to best episodes of Twin Peaks, and she sees if she can figure out what the show is. If you're liking the show, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and tell anyone you think might be interested. Also, please make sure to go follow my friend Jay at twitch.tv/JanuaryK. That's January Kay. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hey Jay, how's it going?
Hey Mac, how are you?
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything really that we have to say before we get started at this one.
Yeah,
we don't really have a preamble. I didn't have an opening for this. So, I'm supposed to be asking this after I brought up this concept early of being like, I'm gonna ask you at the start of every episode, and then I didn't do it ever again. But okay. Have you watched any of the Log Lady intros?
Oh yeah, no, I haven't. I have not watched any of the Log Lady intros. Been meaning to, but I just keep forgetting to do it. So
yeah, no worries. But that'll be I have to try to remember to ask you at the start of so did you watch any? Not because I necessarily want you to, but it's something to open with. Yeah. And then if you do watch a few, then we can discuss how fucking batshit they are. They are insane. You've seen a couple. They're insane.
Yeah. I've looked at the thumbnails of what you she looks crazy in some of them. So yeah, yeah.
on more than a few of the episodes we watched, I think you would have some thoughts. But be sure to brief yourself on what the episode was before you, if you watch any of them. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Well, without further ado, we should probably get started. Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited. Let's go.
All right. So this was season 2, episode 19, Variations and Relations.
Variations and Relations.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, opening thoughts. What'd you think of the episode?
Overall, I liked the episode. I think it's a very classic Twin Peaks episode. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of scenes on this one. I usually as first thoughts, I usually judge an episode based off of how many notes I took. And there's a lot of different scenes in this one. So my note page is quite full. So yeah.
Yeah. A couple things I'd like to highlight about this one that really stuck out to me rewatching it with you was we don't give Angelo Badalamenti his flowers enough for the music, because the music is so both of its time for sure, but so unique and so its own thing, and when it comes in, it just creates this atmosphere that you don't really get very many other places, and it really stuck out to me this episode of man, what a great composer. How great is the yeah, there's the kind of Ben being slimy music or whatever, but when it comes in with those synths and when it comes in with certain themes, it's hard not to be transported to a time we didn't exist in, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just really stuck out to me this time.
That's fair.
That part. That and I'll get into later during my actual review of the episode, but the lighting and the energy of this episode is just it has this momentum, except for one scene that puts a dead stop to the momentum. But it just has this. If the last episode has all these pieces but doesn't know what to do with it, this one is really they found their footing again of what, like you said, classic Twin Peaks was.
Classic Twin Peaks,
but with these new pieces. Is so it's kind of yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you make of that title? How does that?
Variations and Relations. I do like. There's a lot of variations in scenes. I'll give it that. And there's a lot of relationship work in this one.
Yeah.
What was the last title?
On the Wings of Love.
On the Wings of Love. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That one, I think both the last two episodes that we watched very much fit the title fits the episode for sure.
Yeah.
These last two. The variations part of the title, like it's classic Twin Peaks with a lot, like I think you're right. It's classic Twin Peaks with a lot of different pieces to work with. Like you got a little bit of the Wyndham Earl storyline, a little bit of like the relationship building between all the different people, and like there's like the underlying, Miss Twin Peaks thing going on underneath, and it's interesting. It's fun. I do like the title of this episode a lot, so
yeah,
I think it fits. Yeah.
Alrighty. Were there any thoughts that you wanted to dig into on the broader scope of the episode before we dig into it scene by scene?
I'm ready. I'm ready to get in here.
All right, let's go. I have a sneaking feeling this might take a while.
All right. The first scene that we get is the start of the cave. It looks like the group goes back the next morning to the cave, and there's more hieroglyphics on the wall, and Coop says someone's been here already, and he's like, Coop is like, this is probably Wyndham Earl, and he tells Andy to start drawing to remember the hieroglyphics so he can draw it later, kind of deal. And
which is insane to me, because
that is insane. Yes,
like I know this is the 90s, but photographs did exist. Wyndham Earl took a photo. Like we see why Wyndham Earl is ahead of them, even outside of the spying. He's like, I don't have to copy this by hand. I could take a photo.
He's so advanced in his little cabin out in the woods.
Yeah.
It then cuts to Wyndham Earl, and he's talking about the White Lodge. And a place of great goodness, he describes the White Lodge. He's talking to Leo, and Leo's listening very intently. Then there's a kid, a biker guy, I called him at first, like a little punk kid, who was promised a beer and a party. And Wyndham Earl says, in due time. And then the scene ends with the map on a monitor, which is the picture that he took. So...
Yes. Very, very silly.
Yes.
So this Wyndham Earl scene I didn't hate as much.
Okay.
Like I think if you did a little bit of cleaning it up, this would actually be a pretty interesting reveal of Wyndham Earl, in my opinion. Right?
Okay.
Like if you had done all the other work of keeping him hidden but growing this thing, cutting to him not sure of who he is, talking about the White Lodge and the Black Lodge, and then you see Leo and you connect the dots of, oh, this is the guy, as he's talking about these big metaphysical things. And then you see the third guy and you're wondering what he's about, which you're kind of already like, but you know he doesn't fit into this group already with the way we've watched it, right?
Right.
But if this is your introduction to them, you could be like, oh, and who's this third guy? And then you find out he's going to be the murder victim. That adds like a tension there, you know? You're like, oh, is he maybe a minion who's just simple-witted enough to be manipulated to do Wyndham Earl's stuff? Or is he... And then you find out he's a victim. Like that adds a tension to the rest of these scenes. That said, the rest of the scenes, and we'll get into them, aren't as good as this one. So it's ultimately, it's all, get rid of all of it. But if you're going to keep one as an introduction, I think that this could work with a little bit of like tightening up.
Okay. I see where you're going. For those that don't know, Mac and I had a previous discussion on a previous episode that Wyndham Earl would be better if you didn't see who he was, that you knew of his existence, but if we just didn't see his face at all, he would be a little bit more mysterious, a little bit more intimidating. And I agree with Mac. I think that if it played off that way, I think because like Wyndham, as I have seen it, as I've watched these episodes, he is cartoonishly evil.
Right.
Which works in some cases, but in like Twin Peaks is such a serious show, it's like he doesn't fit necessarily because he's so cartoony.
He fits more on the like Lucy Andy spectrum than he does on the murdered girl and we're investigating, right? Like this show has multitudes to it, and like I don't think it's bad to have like those cartoonish moments. I think they're great in depending on the context. But like when you marry that with like the core problem, when you marry that with like the driving conflict, it's like this used to be a show about a girl who was murdered and had like legitimate problems, and now it's this cartoonishly like at least make him threatening. He can't be cartoonish, but he is. So
yeah, I don't have much to say on this scene. It is what it is. So unless you have anything else to add to it.
No, that was pretty much it. Love Ted Raimi. You know. A big fan. So
fair enough. All right, the next scene is Pete, and he's lamenting over Josie over a chessboard, and how he'll never meet a woman like Josie ever again. And then Catherine comes in with the box that Thomas left. And then the two squabble over it a little bit. I like going back to what we said about like cartoonishly, like Catherine and Pete together are very like typical sibling, banter back and forth. That's funny, but
which is funny because they're married. You know what I mean? But like, yes, I do get what you mean because you're right. Like, that is the vibe. It's like no wonder she went off with Ben. Like, but at the same time, it's like they do have a chemistry. It's no wonder she got married to him. It's no wonder she's cheating on him with Ben. Like both things are true. On that note, I think he's writing the poem about Josie for like, there's a lot of Josie in this episode for someone who's not in it, but like it keeps popping up. But I think it's for like, I don't know, a service or something, right? Like we haven't seen a thing like that for her yet, right?
Okay.
At least that was my interpretation the first time I watched it. So.
Okay, that's fair. I think it was more, for me, I took it as like in Missing Pieces, the one scene that like Josie and Pete are in is them at the mill and they're talking about the 2x4.
Yes, which is a great scene.
It's a great scene, and like whenever I think of the relationship between Josie and Pete, my mind goes back to that scene of like they were good friends,
Yes.
Like I can see like Pete, being sad over Josie, like in this scene. It was like, aw, like they had like a thing going on where like like I don't know, like Tweedledee and Tweedledum kind of deal, but Josie's way smarter than that kind of. So like. It was just it was a good dynamic that they had, and so I can see Pete being very upset that he lost his friend, basically.
If you cast your mind back to the past, there was an episode where she left with Jonathan to go back to China, right? And Pete goes to Harry and is like, yeah, I loved her too, like not in the same way, but like. She was very dear to me in that way. And so it's nice to see that actually reflected post her dying.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
yeah. So I liked that. I liked that scene.
Yeah, I mean, and then like Catherine's great in it too. There's this moment where she's like, "Hey, take a look at this," because like this guy's like a chess master, so it's like he has a brain in him, but he is so scatterbrained. He starts going off on his own story, and the look she gives him is so good.
It's so good.
I do relate with Pete in that moment. I feel like I am that way. I'm like, oh, let me talk about this thing for a while. while, and like I can feel that people give me that look. Like hours afterwards, I'll be like, wait, no, that they gave me that look. I know for sure. Like.
Oh my goodness, Catherine's great. She's great in a lot of scenes in this, which I'll get into a different scene.
I don't think she's
with her
ever had
after.
like a bad scene.
Yeah, that's true.
Like casting
You're right.
brain back. Like every time she shows up, we're like, Catherine. Like we know we're in for a good scene whenever she's around.
Exactly. Okay. The next scene is at the diner. Bobby and Shelly talk a little bit. Bobby tries to convince Shelly to do Miss TP. And then it cuts to the mayor and Lana plotting about Miss TP in a different booth and how Lana wants to win.
I want to win.
I want to win. And then Coop comes in and asks Annie to go on a nature study with her. And then Coop says, "It's funny, Annie, when I look at you, I feel a tingling sensation in my fingers and my in my toes and my stomach," he says.
Yes.
And I thought that was very cute.
Yes.
And then as Annie goes and gets the donuts and coffee, Shelly mentions the poem that she got, and Coop is like, "Wait, I need this poem." And then finally, I was wondering where this poem was going ever since I watched that episode so long ago. I was like, where does this go? And so finally it comes up again about how Donna, Audrey, and Shelly all got the same poem, and Coop brings it back. He's a little shooken up from it as Annie gives him the donuts, and then he tells her to meet at 4 p.m. here at the diner. And then he walks away and goes straight back to the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
So, that's that scene.
And any thoughts on that scene?
Nothing really. I think
Okay.
it's establishing stuff that happens later
Yes.
on in the episode. Yeah, so I will skip to the next scene then.
Well, I real quick, I just want to make sure. Yes, I just want to make sure you had your thoughts before I jump on it. So just a real quick thing. Last episode, we actually had this poem come up again, where Audrey was looking it up, and in the blurry scene. That for some reason wasn't up-res.
In the library, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And so it has been a through line. So if you're watching this normally, it does keep popping up, but we've watched it a horrible way. So for you, it's like, where does this go? And then you're like, I don't see any of this happening, and now it pops up again. Yeah. But yes, so it is good on that end. This scene, I think, sets this pattern for a lot of the scenes in this episode that I really like, which is it shows like this really cute moment and that like really fun and showing this broader aspect thing, and then like the real conflict, the real issue, and the tension underneath it like comes crashing back in to kind of disrupt the sweet atmosphere that had been building in the scene, because we see that happen a couple of times, I think, in this episode. And it's something I really like, because it's like that it is like the end point of that juxtaposition that you want of like, yeah, that this is a big town and a lot of pieces are moving, but remember, like, things aren't safe. It's not great out here, right? Like it's which I really like, and his being shook at that. Like there's a version of this scene where like the music doesn't cut out when, or like the tense music cuts out when Annie's like, oh yeah, like our nature study, and Coop like kind of puts it to the back of his brain and moves on from it. But it's clear that he doesn't. He's still like unnerved, even as he's saying yes, which I really like. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go on to the next scene, which is back at the sheriff's office. Harry and Coop talk about the poem. And Coop mentions that's the poem that he used to stare to Caroline. And so that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then Hawk doing the real police work and brings in Donna's version of the poem, her piece. And then Coop asks Hawk to bring Leo's arrest details. And then cuts to Andy drawing the hieroglyphics on the chalkboard, which we know at this point is a map. And the general is there. And Coop asks the general to bring in Wyndham's, what was it, confidential files?
Yeah, so this will have been a while for you. So just as a quick refresher, Blue Book was a very real program that the U.S. did in the 60s investigating UFOs.
Okay.
And so, and then afterwards, in this history or in this story, that's what Major Briggs is doing here, basically. And so this isn't spoilers. This is all stuff we have covered in bits and pieces. I think part of it was when you were kind of zoned out on this plot line, and part of it was also when you were locked in on this plot line, but it's been so long. So like, just as a quick refresher, like he and Wyndham Earl both worked in Blue Book, but like not necessarily like only a little bit together. They weren't like close. So, but like, yeah, so there are some files that he can get to with his classified information about Wyndham.
Yes. Okay. Yes. That was probably forever ago.
Yes.
I don't remember.
The first time it was brought up was probably like the third episode we watched. And then I'm trying to remember, like it's popped up a couple of different times. If you're watching this in order, this feels like a very consistent plot line. But again, we're not, and so this is one of those things where it's like, no, this was explained. Blue Book was what Wyndham was part of before he was in the FBI, and so they're trying to get that information back, or he was like their FBI touch point on it, or whatever, you know.
It's so interesting how like this experiment is so fun, Mac, because I remember throwing away the Wyndham Earl plotline like early on. I was like, I don't care about this White Lodge. I don't give a crap about any of this.
Like you were invested in Wyndham Earl, you just didn't think it was related to the White Lodge. So you're like, what is this White Lodge shit? Like, let's toss this out. Like, I want to know about the serial killer, and now you're finding out that like no, it's actually is related,
it's all
but
connected,
it's so it's so funny though. Yeah,
it's fun how disjointed it all is when you watch it out of order, but when you watch it in order, it makes sense. So who would have thought?
Yeah. Plus, we're still in the middle of the Laura Palmer murder too, with the way we're watching it. Like that occupied a large part of the brain for a while.
Did.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. All of this is just funny. And then the scene concludes with Leo. It's concluded that Leo was the one who wrote the poem.
Yes.
Which is interesting. I find it funny that like no one really questioned why Leo went like they all knew that Leo went missing, but they were like no one really cared unless it's like an episode I haven't seen yet, but I don't think it is.
Because we're pretty caught up. The only episode you're missing in this run, so you've seen everything from episode 10 to episode 20 or episode 19. We're missing 20 and then you've seen 21.
Okay. So yeah, I like no one really cared that Leo was missing. I mean, he was a bad guy, to be fair. Like I think the town kind of like I still don't know how he is wrapped up in Laura Palmer. I still am missing that piece. So I can understand why the town might be hesitant to come to his rescue, you know? But like it's interesting that like they like this important piece of information. I think it's important if I was in their shoes of like, Leo's the one who wrote the poem. They're like, oh shit, Leo is with Wyndham Earl, but like they can't find him yet. So it's kind of just like a
the idea is that he ran into the woods, and it's not like that's easy to comb through for a single person, and especially with a small town force. So they're like, well, we'll keep an eye out for him, I guess, is the idea.
That's so crazy to me. That's so crazy to me. Like, if someone went missing into the woods, there'd be like search parties and shit. You know what I mean? It's just
because
like,
it's not a search party because he's on the land because he ran because he was trying to kill Shelly, remember? Like, He had that whole
Yeah, but,
murder
like,
thing
they
and then
still-
ran
they
off.
s- I would still like send out a search party for him. You know what I mean? Like that
Sure.
is like a manhunt situation.
I do.
Where
I
you
do.
go and try and find him.
Let me be clear. I do agree with you. Like, I tend to think like since each episode is like supposed to be day by day for these 2 seasons,
Yeah.
right? I think of it as like in the last 4 days, because it's only been 4 days since that happened. You have a serial killer show up. You have like all right, you're just getting reinstated to the FBI. You're just so like in the 4 days, I think it makes sense that they haven't gotten a search party together for Leo.
Fair, I guess that's fair. It's just like
I do fully understand
interesting.
you though. Like all
Yeah.
it would take is like, because we know there's other cops here.
Yes.
All it would take is like a shot or something of them being like, we're combing the woods and we still can't find them. That's all it would
Right.
take. I
Yes,
don't think
yes,
they ever say
exactly.
something like that.
No, I don't think they do. And so that's why it's like funny to me that like, they're like, he'll turn up sometime.
Then again,
He'll-
neither of us live near the Pacific Northwest. So like maybe that's an insane thing to ask. Maybe like you look at those
Maybe.
woods and you're like, it's not happening. That guy's just in those woods. Like
He's just there.
yeah. Maybe it's reasonable to give up. Who knows? Like,
Maybe.
I
Who
live in a
knows?
desert. I don't live in a forest. So like
I live like an hour away between woods. Like I live near a national park. And
Sure.
so like the woods can be like they can be, but like I don't know, like I don't know. Whenever I see a missing person and then I look at the police and there's like hundreds of them looking for like one person in the woods, I'm like, they can't do that for like, you know, a disabled guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like I really question like why they haven't looked for Leo yet. But like I get it. I get why.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, I understand. I'm not gonna hold it against them. For that.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard when only one cop does any work.
Exactly. If it's just Hawk, like Hawk can only do so much at this point, you know? So
Yeah.
let the man live. All right.
Right.
Move on to the
Yeah.
next scene. All right. And that is Dick talking with Ben Horn
Yes.
about his nose. And
I hate Ben's
Dick's-
outfit. It's so ugly. Sorry, I know you're talking about the scene. His outfit is so ugly in this episode.
Okay. Fair enough. He talks about his nose and his medical expenses, and Ben is like, "Don't worry, we'll get all that covered." And then Dix is like, "My attorney will be in touch." And then Ben says the very funny line of, "The urge to do bad is overdone sometimes," or
Is
whatever.
like
what was it?
overwhelming sometimes,
Overwhelming,
right? Yeah.
yes, overwhelming, which is funny. It's funny. That's what I mean by like Ben is such a. I can see why he comes off still like super suspicious, right?
Yes.
Like I can see like this doesn't help his case, but I also understand like he's trying his best, okay?
Yeah, and
Let the
like
man
if there's a
live.
case to be slightly evil, it's like against Dick Tremaine in like this situation where you're like, okay, does he deserve workers' comp? Yeah, but you're being very open. You're like, we'll pay for your medical expenses, no worries, which is usually what workers' comp is for.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and on top of that, some workers' comp, and he's like, sure. And then Dick's like, good, I'll be in touch with my lawyers. And like, it's so, his attitude to that makes me be like, I do get what you mean, Ben, right now.
Yeah.
like you're doing the right thing, and like I'm very anti-capitalism. I'm very open about that. I'm not on that side, you know, whatever. But I sometimes the capitalist impulse there is like, no, fuck this guy actually though, like because of who he is though, right? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'll be a capitalist if it's to fuck over Dick Tremaine, right? Like
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So yeah, I thought it was a funny scene.
Yes,
I think
yes.
it's fun.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. The next scene is Wyndham again. Leo feeds the kid beer while the kid is stuck in this chasm thing. I don't know how to describe it. It's
Paper
like
mache, but like not just paper mache.
Paper mache, yeah. And then Wyndham is like, Leo, get the arrow. And Leo hesitates, which is like adds to my case point of like, I feel bad for Leo. Like he's grown a conscience as he's this disabled man. And then Leo, because he hesitates, Wyndham shocks him with the shock collar, and it's sad. And then Leo then grabs the arrow, and then Wyndham shoots the kid, and the kid dies in a very cartoonishly spectacular way.
There's a lot of fun, great shots in this, but
yeah, there is.
shots. I was watching this with my friend Evie.
Okay.
And she was so pissed that he had to use his foot to pull back the crossbow. Because she's like, that's a hand crossbow. Like, how weak is this guy? Like, they haven't made him threatening at all because he can't even do this. Like, what? And like, look at his outfit too. Like, what is he supposed? Like, how is he threatened? Like, he kills a guy and you're not threatened. Like, we've seen them do threatening before. Like they've done threatening before. What is this? Yeah. So like entire time she was ragging on him, being like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be afraid of the guy who can't reload his crossbow without his foot." Like, what are you talking about?
That's funny. Oh my gosh. I had no idea about crossbows, so that's
right. No, my first time going through it, I was just like, sure, there's a lot of tension with that, but like, no, she puts out a good point. It is like a hand crossbow. It's not like one of those big ones. It's like one that you're supposed to just be able to do, and so it's okay, like yeah. When she pointed that out on my most recent watch through, I was like, that's a good fucking point. Like, I haven't been threatened by him, but like, here's another thing to add to his list, right? Like, absolutely ridiculous.
A mark against him.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's also this sequence of shots as he's getting shot, that sequence of camera shots as he's getting shot with an arrow. That is very fun because there's this like crash zoom on Leo as he's getting shot as like the reaction. It's so good. It's so good. I love it so much. As it's happening, I'm just losing my mind, being like, this is great. This belongs in a different show. This isn't this show and shouldn't be here, but it is great.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
Like that shot, and then like Ted Raimi's like dead face, like of course because it's Ted Raimi, but like it's so choice. Like
it is again, choice. Yeah.
Should be in a different TV show, but it should exist. I'm happy it exists.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I thought it was an interesting. Like those shots are good. It was just, to me, it's a little jarring because it's like, it is so cartoonish. Like it's very like, oh, it was fun, but I wasn't expecting that. Like, like his face is like, his tongue is out and there's like blood dripping from his mouth.
It's B-movie horror, like to a T. And it's like, why is this in this show? But also, it was fun. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hard to be too mad at it.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, this scene reiterates like how much I feel bad for Leo. Like, I don't know. It's just like I mentioned it multiple times before, but like seeing Leo in this state makes me sad. And like, you know, especially after the other couple scenes I've seen of Leo where like, you know, then that one in episode 21 where he lets the general go and he's like, go save Shelly. And then this where like he hesitates to give the arrow to Wyndham. It's just like, see, Leo can change. But like, I can see why he's so hated. So it's just like it puts me in an awkward spot of like, I feel bad for Leo. I really do.
I don't think you're alone in that. I've already said my point on it in previous episodes, so I'll just make it very short. Like, why are they doing it in this way? I think everything stems from how cartoonish Wyndham is. Like, because if Wyndham was an actual villain and threat, it could make sense. And Leo had some like ability or like some cognitive ability to be who he was, but changing.
Right.
Then you could do this arc. But because
Right,
Wyndham's
exactly.
cartoonish and because Leo is a different person, which you brought up,
Right.
it's like,
Yeah.
well, what is this?
Yeah, what are we watching right
Yeah.
now? So yeah, I won't linger on that too long.
Yeah.
I am ready to
But
move to
I
the
do
next
understand.
scene.
I do understand being sympathetic towards him because
Yeah.
that's what he's meant there for sure.
Yeah. All right. We cut to the Twin Peaks judges panel. Where Ben Horn is there to make his case, where he says, no more swimsuits. Let's do a speech portion on how to save the forest. Which is, Ben, he's trying his best. He's only trying his best. And then it cuts to Shelley being we see Donna watch Ben Horn leave as he leaves. And she looks like she's been crying.
Yep.
Then it cuts to Shelley being nervous about a speech, and Bobby says, I'll write you the speech. And then Nadine and Mike come in.
So you interpret real quick. You said this at the time, and I'll cut it in.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, that's so sweet of Bobby. You definitely interpret that way different than I do. Because Bobby's being a dickhead, and he's in his dickhead arc. And I think this is like, I'm getting rid of your excuses to not do it. You're going to do this thing. I'll write the speech for you. Just do the thing. Like, right. And I don't think it's like a thing of being sweet. It's like, I think there may also be another layer on top of that of like, I'm going to do it so that I'm like we win, not you. Like, right? Because he's in his dickhead era. So like, I definitely didn't interpret that as, so when you were like, oh, that's so sweet, I was just like, like I didn't want to get into this conversation like in the middle of the episode. But maybe it was sweet.
I thought it was sweet. I do know that Bobby is like, yes, he's in his dickhead era, but he has like, not consistently, like Bobby has been doing like a pretty shitty job in some parts, but he has shown up for Shelley when it matters.
This is true.
Like,
yeah.
When Shelley, was in her abusive situation with Leo, like Bobby was there to help her in his own way, like Bobby wasn't going to take on Leo in any sense of the word, but he was there supportive for Shelley. And then when Shelley was taking care of disabled Leo, Bobby kind of left her to do that by herself, but like he was trying to help her in his own weird way with like by helping out with Audrey, but he was also flirting with Audrey there. So it was like a weird weird thing, but like he's shown up in his own ways where like it kind of matters, but like in his own little like messed up Bobby kind of way.
It feels like his intentions or like where he starts with these ideas comes from a good place for her, but then he gets distracted by all the other stuff around him.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yes, you put the nail on the head on the nail on the head for me.
Yeah. Which I fully agree with. And I think hold on to that. I don't recall. So I'm just going to ask, did we see the scene with Bobby and his dad at the diner? That's vague enough that it's not spoilers. You would know what I'm talking about if we had seen it. Okay, so we haven't seen it. Okay.
I do remember the scene I remember distinctly about Bobby being a real sweetheart is him comforting his mom.
Yes.
And then that's
honestly
the
like
scene that I remember.
That's like a part 2 to the other scene that I'm talking about, kind of. But yeah, 100%. Like, and it really does show that there is like this part to him that does care.
Yes. It's like he's like a morally gray character. You know what I mean? Where like he's not Coop on any standards, but he's also not completely a dick kind of deal where you can.
He's a teenage boy who like he's either about to go down the red pill incel side or he's about to become like really a good person, and you don't know which side that's going to be yet.
Exactly. Where are you going with this, Bobby? I don't know where you're going yet.
100%.
That's exactly how I feel about Bobby.
I get that. No, I love Bobby. Like we saw a version of this even in like the missing pieces, where Laura comes over and wants the cocaine in the basement, and he's like, "You're just with me for the cocaine, but it's okay, I got you. Like I'm trying to be here, right? Like,
right?
Yeah, where it's like, well, you're still giving this deeply troubled woman cocaine, but like even as you're aware that she's using you, even as you're aware that like things haven't gone to plan, you're still trying in your own way to be there for her. Like it's he's so weird, like as far as like where he falls morally, but like it feels consistent with the character, which makes him very interesting. I love him. I love that complexity in a character, you know, especially one who just seems like the dipshit jock of a high school, right? Like
exactly.
We didn't even get to the best part of this scene yet, actually.
I was gonna say, the next part of the scene is Nadine walking in with Mike. And then, you know, I was gonna say it during the episode. I'll finish describing the scene and then I'll get into what I was talking about.
I'll shut my mouth.
Mike and Bobby, you know, reunite, and Bobby brings Mike off to the side, and he's like, "How you doing, bro?" And then Mike's like, Bobby's like wondering why Mike is with Nadine, because like, what the hell? Like, if anyone saw your friend with like, you know, essentially someone's like could be mom, you know, you're like, why are you with this lady? And then Mike brings Bobby close and whispers in his ear. And
well,
then
first
Bobby
there's a line
really
though. There's a line there though that before that is so choice. It's like, what do you get when you mix like boundless energy with sexual maturity or something like that? And then he leads in.
And then Bobby gets really excited for Mike. And then everyone's like, what the hell is going on over there? And they kind of embarrass themselves.
Not really, because like they're not embarrassed. Mike then winks at Nadine and Nadine winks back. Like they're not embarrassed by this. They're like, hell yeah, we're getting it. Like we know what we're doing. It's so funny. It's so good. And like Bobby like flipping around and being like, oh, and being like, awesome, like way to go, dude. like flipping on that is so choice too.
It's very funny. It's very good. I wanted to say this during the episode while we were watching it, but the last time I saw, like, I don't know if I've seen them together after this, but the last time I saw Bobby and Mike together, they were in jail together for like Laura's murder. And then like they left the jail, and like it's like this super serious scene between like Bobby and Mike talking about this. And so that is like my last hardcore memory of them together. And to cut from that to this of like, you know, it's like, oh, friends reuniting after, you know, a couple weeks apart, and they're talking about, it's just such a very funny scene where I'm like, oh my 100%. God, like this is where their friendship goes. They're not in jail together anymore, but like, what the heck is going on?
I had forgotten that was the last time you saw them, but I'm trying to trace through, and I'm like, have we seen them together outside of that? And I'm like, no, we saw Mike interact with Donna at school.
Exactly. So like, I'm pretty sure that was the last scene I saw of those two together.
So funny.
So I'm like, holy shit, like I'm glad that, you know, you can change your life around after you've been in jail for a night, you know, you can, your life doesn't have to be in jail like this. You can turn your life around.
Find a cougar who's your age and ride that lightning, right? Like it'll change your life.
Yeah, it'll change your life for the better. Good job, Mike. Good job.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. Nadine's in this episode, but still no Norma and Ed yet. Like they haven't shown up for me yet. I'm kind of there's that, I'm gonna cut to it because it was funny, but like there's that one scene at the diner where I thought it was Norma, but then she turns around and it was not Norma. I was like, wait a minute, that's not Norma. Where the heck is Norma? I was so excited for a second, but she doesn't show up this episode. So,
did she show up last episode? I'm trying to remember.
I don't think so. Let me look. I don't think she showed up at all.
I know she shows up in episode 21 because it's during the divorce
because it's
part.
Ed and Yes. Yeah, you're right. Norma and Ed don't make an appearance last episode. So
I guess it's tough because it feels like their plot lines are about as wrapped up as they're going to be, right? Hank's out of the picture. Nadine and Mike are together. They're prepping for a divorce. It's like, where else is their plot line that you need? Yeah, like the few points that they have left on that arc, like, do need to happen later for like, you know, a season finale, like we see, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they kind of put them on the back burner. And it's not like we missed them this episode. There was so much in this episode that can you imagine adding can you imagine adding Ed and Norma into this episode somewhere? Especially if they don't have anything going on. Like, everything else has something going on, you know?
Yeah.
Even the bad part of this episode that puts a halt to the momentum has something going on. So it's like, okay. Yeah.
It's just, I wish,
they're so sweet. We do want to see them.
100%.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. All right. There's I'm gonna say this because you pointed it out, but there's a weird transition with Wyndham Earl before it gets to the next scene.
That's right. That's this part. What is, okay, like, what is this transition? Why is it there? What are you doing? What is, like, okay, because it like does a crossfade to Wyndham Earl's face and then is on a still there. And like, at least if it's like transitioning to a Wyndham Earl scene, you're like, all right, at least understand what this is doing. It transitions to a scene that's unrelated. It transitions to, isn't the next scene talking about Josie again with Harry and Catherine. So it's like, why is this your transition? There's been a couple cool things in this episode. Like I love, like, we kind of breezed past it, but while the Major was talking about like the map and all of this, like, there's this weird cut as it films in on the map where like it's white and this black cutout of a figure walks past and you can see the lines of the map, and then he turns like into stars and it goes past. Like, that's cool, and it pops up again a little bit later. Like, the imagery of that is very cool. Like, you already have this motif throughout this episode.
Right.
Do that, even if it doesn't mean anything, because this doesn't mean anything either, and it looks bad. Like, why is this here? You already developed the transitional motif. Yeah. Do that again. Like, I don't know. Like this,
I'm glad I made note to bring it up because I knew you had a lot to say about it.
But it's like, the things that piss me off most is things that are unmotivated, whether that's unmotivated camera work, whether that's unmotivated editing, whether that's unmotivated in the writing, right? Like, if there's not a drive to what you're doing, why is it here? You have a language of transitions already established throughout the show, of the trees, of the stoplight, of the, right? You have plenty of other choices. Why did you choose this? Right. That's it. That's all I have. Like it's so, it's I could talk at length about this, but I would just be saying the same shit on repeat. It's not good content. It's just dumb. It's just dumb that this exists.
I'm gonna move to the next scene. Okay. It's Harry and Catherine talking about Josie. And Harry's trying to understand like why Josie would do these things. And he goes to Catherine, which I do think was the right choice. Like, out of everyone. Yes. It's interesting that like Harry doesn't go to Pete, because I think arguably Pete spent more time with Josie, but the person who understands Josie best was Catherine. So I thought it was a good choice to have Harry talk with Catherine about it. Yeah, I fully agree with that. Catherine brings out the box, and Harry's like, "There's no left." Oh, okay.
First, what was it? Again, they're talking about it, and like, Catherine drops some real knowledge about her, and I think this feeds into my little pet theory that like they had this plan for her for a while of Josie, who she was going to turn out to be. And then because they had kind of walked away from the show but left the cliff notes of it, and then they bungled it pretty hard.
Right.
They're trying to retroactively be like, no, this is what it should have been.
Right. Okay.
So that's part A. But part B of that is that, like, so she drops this knowledge about Josie to Harry, and his response to it is, and she was just so pretty. Or whatever he says. Or like, oh, she's so beautiful or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Harry, please. If you're trying to learn about who this woman who you claim you love was, don't be fixated on that part. Learn about her properly as a person, not as an object of lust. I beg
Fair
of
enough.
you.
That's fair.
What I love about this is, and like, I think it's intentional of him being that way and being stupid about it. And like, because like there's this repeating thing throughout like all of season 2, including what you haven't seen, but what you have as well, of like flaws in our main characters. Right. I think that this is intentional. And the reason I think that is because Catherine gives him this look of like, you dumb motherfucker. Like I can't believe you. Like what are you talking about?
Why are you here talking to me about this?
Yeah, like if you're not gonna if you're not gonna learn about Josie and try to understand who she is, why are you doing this? You're as bad as the men who got her killed. Like yes. I got her killed, but at least I understood her when I did it. Right? Like right? She's so good. And she gives him this look, and then she's like, oh, you know what? I could use this dipshit to help me with the puzzle. Is the vibe. Like you could see her like be like, he's stupid, but maybe he'll help with the puzzle. It definitely like right. Like yeah. I can't. It's great. It's intentional. It is like.
I do think it's intentional because like now that you've pointed it out, it is an echo of how Harry viewed Josie throughout the entire show.
Yes.
Like he had the blinders on. He was like a horse with the blinders on, right? So he can't be distracted and only sees Josie for like the surface level of like, you know, she's pretty and like she quote unquote loves me. And so I love her back kind of deal. Like it's a very, it's a small reflection, but I think it speaks volumes to exactly how Harry viewed Josie throughout the entire show so far. So,
and am I saying that if a woman like that treated me the same way, would I act as Harry did? Yeah, probably. I'm extremely lonely. I would be like, oh, you love me, and are like, yes, whatever you say, and I'll view you however you want to be viewed. It's not good. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
It would work on me. I would be Harry in this situation. I am aware of that.
Like fully.
I'm aware of that. Hey, like this, it's that shirt. If we've seen that, where it's this guy wearing a shirt where it's like, I'm emotionally vulnerable if any bad bitches want to take advantage of me or something like that. It's so choice. He later posed with that shirt with Violet Myers, which is very funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's so funny. But yes, yeah.
All right. Later in the scene,
yes.
Catherine brings out the box, as you said. She's like, "Let me get this dipshit to open the box for me." and then Pete walks in, and Pete's like, "Oh, the box," and then I wrote in all caps Butterfingers because Pete drops the box, but it opens the box.
Yes.
And then there's another box inside the box. Wow. And then Catherine and Pete it's a very sibling squabble. Like they pull the box back and forth between the two, very cartoonish way. It's very funny. And then Harry gets to look at it and sees that it's like an eclipse box with like the signs of the zodiac around it. Yeah. So, yeah.
Very good, funny scene. Her good Butterfingers is so funny. It's so good. She doesn't. She eats every opportunity she gets. Like it's so good.
She is very good.
Yeah.
I love her. She's easily one of my favorite characters of the show. Easy
Yeah,
peasy.
yeah. Like, for some reason, every time I list my favorite characters, she doesn't pop up. But the second that she's actually like brought up, I'm like, oh, she's absolutely in like the top 3 to 5. It's so hard. There's so many good characters, though.
There's so many good characters in this show.
But she doesn't. She doesn't miss. Is the thing. Is the thing.
Yes.
You know, I think every other character has a miss. So,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. The next scene is Annie and Coop on the boat on their little nature walk reserve thing. Date. Talks about Annie's past a little bit, and like it's assumed that her high school boyfriend, then the one relationship that she's been in, is the reason why that she went into the Covenant. And he is the reason why she has that scar on her wrist.
Right.
And then Cooper brings up that, like, you know, hiding from fear doesn't make the fear go away. It just makes it stronger. They have a little moment together, and then they kiss. And I've seen, you know, when you were talking about like the lighting in this scene. I do want to touch upon it briefly because that same lighting is the same lighting that James had with Donna when James was leaving town. He's like telling Donna, I'm gonna leave town. And that lighting is, I brought it up during that episode and it reminded me during this episode, it's the same lighting that they used on that scene with Camp Rock with Demi Lovato and Joe Jonas sitting on the side of the lake where Joe Jonas sings to Demi Lovato. It's the same lighting and I love it. It's a very iconic scene, and the fact that it's the same lighting is very exciting to me. So yeah.
In this entire episode, I don't know if it's just me being. There's something about like the way that this entire episode is shot, and like whether it's the color grading change, I don't think so, or like the lighting change, which again I don't think so. But there's something about this episode and its consistent feel that like really brought that out this episode of like this like nostalgic feeling, you know.
Yes, nostalgic. Yes.
And then like I had this is the scene that really made me be like, oh, we need to talk about Angelo Badalamenti more. Okay. Because the music in this part is great.
Yes, I agree.
But like he's consistently great whenever he brings out those synths, right? Like a lot of the background music can kind of fade into the background, but on occasion, and it's supposed to, but on occasion you're like, oh, like this is strong, this is powerful, right? And like I think the music there is an example of that. I also, I sometimes raise my hand to keep a thought in my head and to make sure it retains. But I did that during this scene of like, the feeling I get during this episode.
Okay.
Is like, so Persona 5 is my least favorite Persona game. Out of the ones I played. It feels like, or like, and I know Persona 4 is kind of based on Twin Peaks, but like it feels like when I'm really enjoying that in a casing of like when I don't like the game as much, but it has a point that I really like.
Okay.
That's what this episode kind of felt like to me in a weird way, even though I do like the surrounding parts. Like I don't know how to explain it, but like it just felt like the best parts of that. You know, where it stands out of like the comfy hominess with the tension underlying it. Like, yeah, I just this episode really hit home for me, or not hit home, but like it went down smooth.
I see. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Okay. And then they get off the boat, and Wyndham Earl is spying on them in the most obvious spot. It's so funny. It's so funny that he's just standing there.
Behind a tree. He's literally just standing there in front of a wall.
Or in a disguise, really.
He's not even hidden away. He's just like standing there in front of a wall, which is the most obvious place that you can hide because there's nothing to like disguise yourself into the background, you know? It's just it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, and then he lowers it and has this grin, which again, I think in a different show where you don't deal with like rape and murder and cocaine and stuff, like I think this performance is great. In this show, I think it's bad. I'm like, again, what are you doing here?
What are we doing here?
Like I actually don't mind showing that he's watching them, because like it adds the underlying thing, like I talked about before, of like injecting these sweet moments with like a sense of bad, inevitable dread, right? Like,
right.
I think that works. But I don't know how you marry that with like his performance of this cartoonishly evil.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, so
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, the next scene is of the soiree of the wine tasting. To stop the Ghostwood project, Andy does a cute thing where he raises his hand and he's like, "There's also white wine and sparkling wine."
Yeah, because
like, thank you, Andy.
Dick's like, you know, he's like the French or somebody, I don't know, but like calls out a group of people. Sometimes say that red wine is the only wine, and that's when Andy raises his hand to say that, and it's like, okay, thank you. Like you said it. You said it in the episode, and it'll probably be mentioned as we cut to like that'll probably be the segment that gets put in. But you're like, it reminded you of like a kid in school be like, sharks are fish too. Like, and the teacher be like, yes,
thank you.
Yes, thank you. Like,
thank you, child.
Yeah, it very much has that energy. It's so funny.
Very funny.
There's also. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no! You go. I was about to cut into something.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say there's also a moment where he starts to drink the wine. He's like, "Spit it out," and he spits it out, which is like, this is again like you mentioned it being classic Twin Peaks. Again, this part, it feels like that of like, oh, they're not overcooking the comedy, but it is still in there. It's like the perfect amount of being like, oh, this is very funny.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of jokes, but there's also like character stuff going on of like Lucy being like pissed at Dick liking Lana. Yeah,
that's what I wanted to cut to, because I want to combine all the wine tasting scenes together because they're split up. Because Lucy in not the next scene, but the scene after that, Lucy spits the wine at Dick afterwards because she's like, "I'm pregnant. I'm not supposed to drink," and just like the whole wine tasting scene in general is like that. You mentioned it earlier, where it is the funny before the storm, you know, because we'll talk about the scenes that come up afterwards, but the scenes that come up afterwards are like dark. Like, it's like, oh yeah, like this isn't a comedy. Like this is like this is like a serious show right now. So it's like having these scenes like at the end of the episode is like choice, because it's like a little like pick me up. But then it's a stark contrast to the next scenes that play out afterwards. So it's funny how it plays out like that. So
there's this thing of like, in a lot of Western media, it gets really hard to balance tones. Like, you're supposed to like kind of maintain a tone, right? And you'll also often hear that in criticism of like, it doesn't know what it wants to be. It's tones all over the place. If you watch any amount of anime or watch any like Japanese media or Eastern media or whatever, like, because it's not just in Japan, they don't do that. They are very much in the idea of like, no, life has all these tones. You just have to learn how to play into each of them and not have them interrupt each other. And like Twin Peaks is very much in that aspect of, and I think a lot of David Lynch stuff is in that similar aspect of like this, which is funny because like Twin Peaks is huge in Japan. It's had an immeasurable effect on anime and video games in Japan. But like of this like tone is you need these juxtapositions of tone to really get as much dread as you can get out of it. You need this comedy to like plus there's like a lot of tones that you can't get without mixing them, of like happy, but with a feeling of underlying stuff, right? Or like dread, but with an underlying feeling of hope, or like, you get like, it's so you have to be able to do that to get like the full range, right?
Yeah.
And like when you think of like the blockbusters, like not to get into the whole Marvel conversation, right? But like that's been a consistent problem with them is like they don't balance their tones very well, and the ones that are good manage to nail that. But those are the standout ones. But like, yeah, so I don't know. It just felt like this episode as a whole really dances that line very well. And I think that's something that the show does very well as a whole, except you haven't seen most of what it does that. But like, I think this really highlights what you can, and you've seen it from a couple of the better, you've seen it from a couple of the episodes before, but like, this style of tone balancing can be what you should expect from like kind of going forward.
Okay, interesting. Because it's such this episode, the reason why it sticks out so much is because it's a big, like, the spectrum is so large. You know what I mean? Like, you have like Catherine and Pete squabbling over a box where they're cartoonishly pulling the box from each other back and forth on one side of the spectrum, and then on the other side of the spectrum a kid literally died. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he died.
Yes.
There's a literal death in the end of in the middle of this episode that like contrasted between the two. So it's such a wide spectrum of emotion, but it doesn't feel out of place, whereas like in some, it's like the show that I'm going to cut to like give an example of how it's done bad is Riverdale. Riverdale has a very bad tone problem where they don't know where to have those happy moments. And so where they insert the happy moments, it's so out of place. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like Riverdale has like this problem, right? Where it's like everyone loves the first season because it sticks to what it knows, but then it tries mixing it up in later seasons. And because they didn't know how to intersperse like the tones of like what they wanted to do, it's done so poorly that like that's why everyone hates like the last two seasons of Riverdale, because it doesn't make sense.
Everything I've ever heard about Riverdale is that it's knockoff Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Like, everything I've ever heard, that and that Mad Shanamick is either in it or directs some of it. Mad Shanamick is the actress who plays Shelley in this show, and that she got some coaching from David Lynch on directing a couple of the episodes. So interesting. I didn't know that.
Fun. Wow,
those are the
world.
those are the two things I know about Riverdale. And I don't even know that, but like, that's what I've heard.
The first season of Riverdale, everyone says it's good because it's basically a murder mystery. Like, it is, like, from what I've seen of Twin Peaks, is that it seems like it matches with the first season of Twin Peaks, of like this murder mystery. And then in the like subsequent seasons afterwards, it completely falls apart because they try to do what Twin Peaks does, but it's awful. Like, there's like in Riverdale, I can't remember what season it's in, but there's like a musical episode where it's like very like, oh, like, I see what they're trying to do here, but it's bad. Like why would you put a musical in the middle of like this important little plot point here? It's not done well.
The only show that's ever gotten away with a musical episode is Scrubs. Because it ends with it being depressing as hell. Because it's like, oh, it's a musical, we're supposed to be happy, we're playing along, and we're doing this thing. And then it ends and it's like, no, it's literally him trying to cope with losing this patient that like mattered and like loved that. And like, it's the only time I've ever seen a musical episode where I was like, oh, this makes sense. Yeah, like I'm like, oh, okay, you really wanted that happy ending for this person that you're really trying to fight hard for, and you're picturing their perfect. I'd also like to say real quick, because you brought up that like, oh, people say the first episode or the first season of Riverdale is good. I'd argue that like the first season of any TV show was good. Because like not to be reductive, but like that is the season where they're like, we have this concept, we know what we want to do with it, we're going here and we're putting it out there. And
Right.
if it gets greenlit, and sometimes there's meddling, which will change it from great or whatever to good. But I don't think any first season, I can't think of any first season of a show that has more than one season. Any
Okay.
right, is ever bad, right?
That's fair.
Like I can't think of because you know there's an intention and focus behind it, and then you get more episodes and you get a new season, and you're like, okay, well, what now? And now we're under a timeline and we're under a thing when we had like, you know, we've probably been shopping this around for years before it got greenlit. So like that first season's always going to be not necessarily better, because some shows manage to grapple with that and will put out even better stuff farther down the line.
Yes.
But the first season's always going to be good of a show that gets a second season.
Fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. There's one show. If anyone follows me on Twitter, I'm gonna bring it up. I'm just gonna. You don't have to comment on it, but I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay.
But like the one show that I know where the first season is awful is 911, and that's my hyperfixation right now. So that's the one show where everyone's. What was that? Sorry, what?
Is that like the cops show, or is that like an actual written show? Like
It's a fire show. It's like actually written. It's about firefighters in LA.
Oh, and it has multiple seasons?
Yes, it has multiple. It's on like season like 9 right now, but everyone always skips the first season.
Oh my lord.
Like you watch the first season, you're like, it's good. And then you start season 2 and you're like, wait a minute, this is really good. And then when everyone rewatches it, everyone's like, oh, you just skipped season 1. Like you don't need to watch season 1.
So what I'm hearing is we need to find a way to watch season 1.
Oh, true. You're right.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm hearing from this, is that you and I need to watch season 1.
I love 911.
Yeah.
So good.
Okay.
All right. Okay. In between the wine tasting scenes, we get, okay, I want to talk about this. We get the Shelley and Gordon scene where they're having pie together in the diner, and then Coop comes in with Annie after their date. And then Gordon asks them to join them for pie. And then there's the funny thing of like, you know, Gordon yells at Coop while he talks very gently with Shelley. And then this surprised me, but Gordon's like, I'm gonna regret it if I don't kiss you. And then Shelley's like, okay. And then she like kisses Gordon. And then Bobby walks in and Bobby's like, what the heck is going on here? And then Gordon's like, I don't care about you, kid. Watch a real man kiss a lady. And
well, I mean, to be fair,
Shelley
that's not his vibe, because he doesn't know that they're dating. For as far as he's aware, he's like, you're watching a front, what is that? A front 2/4 view of two adults kissing.
Exactly.
Entrance to Shelley is like, he acts like he's never seen a kiss before. And then he's like, buckle up, Sonny, it's gonna happen again. It's so good.
It's so good.
So there's complicated feelings on this, actually, though.
Yes, I have complicated feelings.
I'll hear yours first.
So first, I thought that Shelley was just being polite to Gordon. Like I thought, you know, when like this talks, like girls talk about this all the time. It's like where women like smile because they're uncomfortable, but they don't want to cause a scene kind of deal. And so she plays along with Gordon's, you know, like advances on her because she you know, she's when they first meet, she's at the diner, she's working, she can't freaking run anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's kind of forced to talk with Gordon, like he's there and he's like into her because he realizes that she's the only one that he can hear properly. And it's like, she's just being nice. Like, that's kind of like this embarrassing moment when they first meet where she's like looking at Coop and she's like looking like at other people at the diner because he's yelling. And she's it plays off uncomfortable that Shelley's uncomfortable. And then it cuts to this scene. This is the next scene that we see them together. And they're having like essentially a date at the diner. And then he's like, I want to kiss you. And she's like, okay. And then they kiss. Yes! I was like, what's going on? Like, I was so confused when that happened because, yeah, I was just under the impression that she was just like smiling for the sake of smiling, like professionalism, you know? And so I don't know how I feel about this scene. It's funny. It's a funny scene, but I don't know how I feel about it.
To move it out a little bit farther from that.
Okay.
David Lynch is the main creator with Mark Frost of this and like showrunner and producer, right? And so it is difficult to kind of stomach the idea of like, here's his character who gets to kiss this other girl who's in the middle of her arc, right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, reportedly they were friends and she was comfortable with it and like, but like it's still weird.
Yes.
They even bring that up in like behind the scenes stuff of where he's like, yeah, while writing that episode, you know, suddenly you have this scene where we're gonna do this, and like, you know, I feel guilty having that down on paper, and literally Kyle MacLachlan's like, but then you kept writing it, like calls him out on that thing.
Yeah.
A slight defense of David Lynch, maybe, I don't know, hard to tell, is that he didn't write this episode or direct it. Maybe it was someone else's pitch and he was fine with it and she was fine with it, so they went along. Maybe, I don't know. In that anecdote, he says he's writing it, but that may have just been for the story. I don't know.
Right.
It's not good either way.
It's not good. It's uncomfortable. Like, it's a very like there's a power dynamic there that isn't really addressed. And so it's just weird. Like, I know it's supposed to play off as funny because like Bobby's reaction is hilarious.
Yes.
Like, he's like, who comes in, he's like, what the heck is going on?
If Gordon Cole was played by somebody else, it wouldn't be a problem.
Right.
But
exactly.
But like when you have the director / like showrunner / whatever, right? Even if he's not directing this episode, even if he's not writing this episode, when you have that person in this situation, it feels weird. And we don't know the behind the scenes stuff, and she has been very adamant that she was good with it and was fine, and like it's not an issue. Like they worked together after this. Like I said, like she got tips on directing her stuff from him. Like they maintained a friendly relationship. But like it's still weird. Like you can't still weird. You can't not acknowledge that like it feels like an abuse of power, especially since like that's not part of anyone's arc, really. I mean, it is I think it's bigger that it's a big part of Bobby's arc. It feels like more than anything of like, oh, I've been really fumbling the bag if she's willing to do this with him, right? Like if she's into him, I've been messing up, is what it feels like, which is why that reaction, so we acknowledge the weird part of it. So we should talk about how funny and good this scene is actually, though. which is the struggle, right? Where it's like, it's so gross when you take the meta context into it, but it is so funny. Bobby walking in and be like, what the hell? And Coop like looking around and be like, Cole, like Gordon,
like what's going on here?
like it all of that works. So like, it is very funny.
It is funny. Like, I do think that it's just comical. Like the thing that's funny about it to me is like Gordon like invites Coop and Annie to sit with him, and then the next thing that he does is like, let's kiss. It's just like, why would you invite your underling, not underling, but you know, like Gordon is
someone who
Coop's
works under
superior.
you.
And like so you invite your employee to sit next to you, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna put on a show for you and kiss this beautiful lady in front of you because I'm gonna regret it. And then like it's such a funny scene that plays out. And then Bobby walks in, and like that's like the cherry on top of like, what is going on? Like, what is happening in this episode? And so I was very confused but delighted to watch this unfold in front of me.
Yes.
So Yeah.
Plus, like, maybe one other scene with them in between would have been nice, of like showing that they are getting along, or wait, no.
Yeah.
Because we didn't see it, but we did hear that Shelley took him to the doctor to check out his hearing with her.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you commented at the time of being like, that's weird for her to volunteer to do that. I think that's supposed to plant in our brains that like, no, she's actually into it.
Yeah.
Especially as Bobby's fucking up so hard.
That's right. Oh my gosh. But it's just so out of place. The whole relationship is super out of place to me. It's very, very weird.
Yeah.
But, you know, whatever. It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes there is an aspect of this show where you have to be like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
and that's a bummer. I don't know if there is a way to do this scene without the weirdness of it, if you have David Lynch as Gordon Cole.
Right. That's fair.
But I do think the scene outside of that context is very funny. And I do think like if you put that as anybody else, right? Right. And I do think that it is important for Bobby's development. So I'm like, I don't know what else. I don't know what else you do with all of this, right? So you're kind of just like,
it is what it is.
The show, it is what it is, and everyone was fine with it. It sounds like in production, so we're just gonna we'll just accept that and move on.
Scoot over it, yeah.
Yeah.
The next scene is Coop and John back at the hotel, sitting by the fire. Coop is enjoying a nice glass of milk, while John is enjoying a shot of whiskey. I'm guessing it looked like whiskey. And they talk about love. And like Coop doesn't know that John's talking about Audrey, which I thought was like it's a fun I guess transition of like, you know, like Coop and Audrey had like a thing going on, and then it was like Coop giving John like it seemed like it was like, I didn't write it down, but I thought it at the time, that Coop is basically giving John his blessing to date Audrey. Like it felt that way, but it didn't realize like obviously the characters don't know that they're talking about like Audrey in this sense. So it felt like it was a very like well done scene of like, you know, passing the torch. I don't know what torch, because Coop and Audrey never dated, but like it was just, I thought it was a nice scene transition of like Coop has moved on from Audrey. He has Annie now, and now Audrey, he doesn't know it yet, but she also has someone, which is John, you know, like there's like,
well, they
it's
have
like
kissed.
Yeah. It's just like, it's a nice transition of like, you know, moving on healthily, and like Coop giving his blessing to Audrey in a sense of like, we're both in different places now, and so
you like this scene?
I don't think I do, though. I think it's
okay,
an awkward
good.
scene.
I hate this scene so much.
And it's not like, if it was done in a different context, I think I would like it, because the message that it's trying to convey, like that's what I picked up, is that was the message it was trying to convey, was that what I just
liked the concept of what the message would be. Okay, I agree with that.
It was not very good. It was just, it was awkward. It was a very awkward scene. There was like no.
I wanted to make sure before I dug into this scene that you didn't like it or liked it. Yeah,
there was nothing of, like, I get it. I get what they were trying to do. It's just it was nothing substantial.
It's such a weird back and forth. Okay,
it is.
I talked about the lighting for this entire episode. This is lit way different, and I know it's supposed to be like this intimate moment or whatever, but it looks so weird.
Yeah.
I did like Coop's glass for the milk is very funny. Like I don't understand why that's. And then what's his face is John Justice Wheeler is like nursing a shot, and which makes him look like a bitch. And so like I don't drink, so who knows, but like, so the entire thing, like there's this weird back and forth that almost makes it feel like, I know it's supposed to feel like banter between two people who don't know each other. It's weird, but like it's supposed to feel like banter, but it feels more like a tit for tat, like almost competitive. Like, I don't know. It's a weird vibe for what I think your read on what the scene's supposed to be is correct. It's a weird vibe to do that with, right? He sits down and immediately he's like, what is it? Love is hell, right? And Coop's like, for a second, I could almost hear Coop be like, what the fuck? Like, what do I need to deal with this, right? But I think that's me. That's me internally, and that's not Coop's attitude. But I feel that, and so he's like, pardon, and he's like, love is hell, right? And he's like, well, you know, the Hindus say that love is a ladder to heaven. And he's like, yeah, but they also walk on coals. And he's like, for fun or whatever. He's like, no, that's for self-discipline. And then he's like, self-discipline and love. Like, there's a match made in hell or whatever he says. And it's like, first of all, those are two separate concepts that you were talking about. You brought up the whole walking on coals thing. Why are you such an asshole? Like, who starts this conversation this way? The lighting is bad. Like nothing about this feels good. Like I've been alluding to this scene the entire time, and I wonder, like you knew this was the scene I was talking about, yeah?
Yes.
The one that kills all the momentum in this episode. Yeah. It's like suddenly we're here talking. These two are talking, and it's like. The first time I watched it, I was like, all right, so this is a handing over. I didn't hate it. Every time I've watched it since then, I hate this scene more and more because it's like, it's so, like, I don't like the lighting. I don't like the writing. I don't like anything about it. Like it's, yeah, it for a scene that's supposed to be like, oh, these two people who like shared a mutual interest in a woman but never knew each other, and one's letting go of that. For a scene like that, it's oddly contentious. And like I just it's so weirdly shot. I don't like any of the performances. I don't like the line readings and how they go back and forth on it. Like it's all bad. I don't like it.
Fair enough. My main gripe with the scene is the dialogue. The dialogue is so bad. And it's not like I think that's why I kind of glazed over it because I'm like, oh, this is like I picked the vibe of the scene of what it was supposed to be because what they said didn't really make sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what are they talking about? Like, if I thought about it for more than like 3 seconds, I'd be like, okay, what is happening here? You know what I mean? And so
it's just these two commiserating over being in love, but like, it's
like done bad. It's done really bad. The dialogue is not good. Like, it's just like, it feels kind of icky when you think about what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Well, so like, I think part of it is like they writ two characters that at no point should interact because they are two completely different types of people, right? Like John Justice Wheeler is supposed to be like this suave, charming, like charismatic guy, while Coop is weird. Like he's hot. He's hot and he can be funny and like he has a charisma about him, but like I don't think
he's a weird guy.
He's weird, right? And so like you have these two, like they would both fit into the same role but be completely different, and now they have to interact with each other. And so like you have John Justice Wheeler who will bloviate, like I mean I bloviate, but like will go off on and talking about like things in order to get the witty upper hand. Coop doesn't really get the witty upper hand in so much as he throws people off kilter by being like, well, this like he's witty in the autistic sense, right? Like he's autistically witty.
Right.
And so like it feels like they are just like at cross like means of each other to have a conversation. At no point like this, they're both acting extremely in character, but it breaks the magic of both of them. Not that I think he had, to be clear, I don't think that John Justice Wheeler had magic, but like in quotations, it breaks the magic of both of them for them to be interacting with each other in this way. Right. And like, you know, later in other scenes that, you know, they can recoup it individually because they're not interacting with each other, but they are like the antithesis of the same role as each other, you know?
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I don't really have anything more to say than that. It's just, I thought it was an interesting scene.
Conceptually.
So, yeah, conceptually. The last two scenes.
Oh, well, there's a big point to highlight here, just so we don't skip past it. They are interrupted by a bellhop who has a telegram, gives it to him. He tips for it, which took me back to being like, what would it be like to live in the 90s and vacationing and always have to have cash to like tip people like that? And like, what was it like to just have excess cash to do that with? But then I remember he's like rich. But he gets a telegram and then he's like, I have to leave.
Right.
Like I need to leave the hotel. I need to,
Goodbye.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
He's gone.
So that was important because as you remember, not next episode because we haven't seen the next episode, but episode after that.
Yeah, Dawn is Audrey's sad about it.
About him leaving. Yeah.
Okay, the next episode that I'll touch on is Donna at dinner. You're right. It's very funny that her sisters never make an appearance because it's a family dinner, but the entire family is not there. And so
there's also only one chair there. And it's like she has two sisters. What has been the setup here?
Where are they? Like, she might as well just be an only child. It doesn't make
Why'd they
sense.
write extra sisters if they were ever going to include them? Like, it's so funny. It's so funny.
Weird. Oh my God. She tries to confront her mom about Ben Horn. But her mom dodges the question, especially after Donna brings up the roses that were dropped off. She kind of, stabs her mom a little bit with like, roses are quite romantic, don't you think?
Donna, can you pass the peas, please? I just think roses are a bit romantic, don't you think?
Yeah.
Donna, your mom's in a wheelchair. Please pass the peas.
Yeah.
Like you could say that while passing the peas, please.
And then it's noted that Donna has entered Miss Twin Peaks, and that's the end of that scene. I know how this scene, like this plot point ends, so like I don't want to touch on. It's just like I have a point against Donna's mom, I guess. Like that the dinner table is like the best place to talk about that. You know what I mean? Like clearly Donna is asking questions and getting to the bottom of it. And so, I would, if I was Donna's mom, I would just bring it up there, like I have something to tell you, blah, 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 whatever it may be. And so I have a point against Donna's mom. They have to drag out the storyline. I understand because it is brought up in the titular episode of episode 21 where it's like, it essentially concluded with Donna confronting Ben Horn about it. I understand that that's how it's structured and how it's supposed to go, but I don't like it. So,
I can kind of understand it from the parents' point of view because they don't know that Ben's trying to turn a new leaf.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, if you had this awful person, like we know he owned a whorehouse. We know he, did a bunch of awful things. You may not know the extent of it, but like not a great person.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to introduce that to your daughter as this is your actual father?
If I was a mom, I would want my kid, like, this is like, maybe I'm just like, this is how I would parent, but I would give my kid all the information that they need in order for them to utilize it, and whether that is a bad, like, the thing is like, if Donna was like 7 years old, then no, I wouldn't tell Donna, but Donna is essentially almost a grown woman now. Like she is coming into her own in the world, right? And so she's a smart lady. And from that, how Donna is like confronting her mom about it at the dinner table, if I was in the mom's position, I would give her that information. just because she's so close to the truth already. And to hide that from your kid is like for so long, I think is more damaging to them in the long run. You know, I can see how that can affect Donna. And like, that's why Donna wants to get to the truth, right? Because it bothers her so much. And so as a mom, I would tell Donna, like, hey, this is what happened when you were younger. You're old enough to understand this information now. You know, do what you want with it, like whether that's therapy or whatever that may be. Like, I would give my kid the full tool belt, I guess, for them to deal with whatever they're like if this is an identity crisis because her dad that she's known her all life isn't her actual dad. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I would tell her that in that situation. Even if he is a bad guy, I think it's important for kids to know that when they're old enough to understand what that means for them, you know?
To be clear, I agree with you. I don't understand why they're keeping it a secret, but I'm coming from the angle of I understand why they are not, is that fear. Right. Is like, I don't want her interacting with him in that context, or like, you know, I don't want her thinking like I'm not her dad. Right. Like, because I have been her dad for her entire life. Like, I get why they don't, even if I do agree with you. You know, I
understand where it comes from.
Yeah. I do think it's wrong. It's also like the dumbest plot point in the story right now.
It is a dumb plot point. Like,
in one defense of the parents, real quick, is that Donna has shown to not make good decisions and be stupid. So,
you know,
like, in that context, I think it depends on how your kid is, right? Like, understanding your kid's temperament and who they are. Maybe giving her that information would cause her to fly off the handle and go seek out Ben. Like 100%. That ends up being what she does anyways. But like, we know Donna. They know Donna. Yeah. There's not a good way to tell her any information ever.
Fair enough. Oh my gosh, that's fair. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that
100%.
scene.
Yeah.
All right, finally, the last scene is the pagoda, where there's a giant box in the pagoda. And I have a question. Is this the pagoda that Laura Palmer's cousin stands in front of before that episode ends?
I believe so, yeah. And that's the one that burns down. Is this one and that one. And is like so in 2000. Yeah, it used to be like a spot fans of Twin Peaks would go visit. And like, I think I think it burned down or is like construction. I think what happened is it got slightly on fire, and then there was like they decided to not rebuild it or renew it and just got rid of it. I think. I just know it's not there anymore, and I think there was a fire.
I see. That's sad.
That's
sad. And then there's a pull me lever handle thing. And Coop does a little contraption where he ties police tape to a rock, and then he shoots the rock, and the rock falls, and it pulls the lever, and it's the dead kid that died in the middle of the episode. And and then there's a note on the body that's like, next time it'll be someone you know, as a warning to Coop.
Yeah.
And that ends the episode right there.
Yeah. So the first time I saw this confused me because Coop was like, I'm not able to understand his operations anymore. I don't understand what he's doing, right? Where he was like, I used to be able to predict with a fair degree of certainty but now he can't. I thought that was supposed to indicate that like the pawn, because he's in a pawn paper mache, the body is in a pawn, right? I thought initially that was an indicator that like he's no longer following the rules of their chess game and just killing people at random. But no, the episode before this, and I caught this time. I think I told you to highlight it, but not tell you why or something like that. The episode before this, Pete says that like, we're going to put this pawn here, and it'll be in danger, but it's protected, so he won't go for this pawn. because like if he gets this pawn, we'll be able to take a better piece. But he decided to go for the pawn anyways, because when he kills someone, when he gets a pawn, he gets to kill someone.
Right.
And so like he did go for a pawn. It was set up in the episode previous that they were putting a pawn at risk. To do this. Which makes me even more confused about Cooper's reaction.
Because like he should have known that. Yeah, no, that's fair. He should have known that because Wyndham Earle's kind of a psychopath dude, so he'll want to kill people for the sake of killing people. He has demonstrated that. So,
you're right.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. You know what? Valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this scene in particular besides that?
I think it's interesting that, it's a buildup, another dead body, what's going to happen next. So it was a fine scene to end on, I think.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, how about that? That was Variations and Relations.
Yay.
Yeah. So for why I rate this so highly is it does feel like proper Twin Peaks in all of its good, like all of its strengths are working full force, but it's playing in a new sandbox that they really hadn't gotten working since a certain point, which I think you can guess where that was. Right. Based off of the episodes we've seen, they move on, they do a bunch of new stuff, and they never fully get it working. This is the closest I think we get to proper Twin Peaks in this latter half of season 2, except for the following episode, which will come up eventually. But like this feels like the closest we get to the original season 2 run, the original season 1 run. It's just very good. I love the underlying tension throughout everything. I love that everything feels so motivated. Everything's building. There's a lot of momentum through every scene. Rewatching it again this time, like it stood out to me every time I've watched it. But like, again, watching it this time, like something about the lighting and the energy just feels, and I think part of it is that like, so long of the show not working, suddenly it finding its feet will feel nostalgic because you're like, oh, this is the show I loved. Right?
I see.
So that's why I rate this one where I do. I think I rate it a little bit higher than most people do. But on IMDb it's about 6 spots lower. But like, weirdly, the last episode is rated higher than this episode. How do you feel about that in IMDb? Last episode better than this episode. Where does this fall?
I don't think I like that actually, because like I mentioned it the last episode, like it was fine. It was an episode, it's Twin Peaks. Like Twin Peaks is on. I'ma watch Twin Peaks. Like it didn't wow me in any way. Yeah. Like it wasn't like this one had the wow factor. Yes. Of what makes it special, you know, whereas like the last episode was very like, it was a Twin Peaks episode. Like it was fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. No, like this episode's just good. Like I don't know how to put it. Last time I talked about how like when I rate these episodes, I would prefer something that hovers at a 6 and spikes to 10 a couple of times over something that like generally sits at like a 7 or 8. But like this one does sit at that 7 or 8, but has those same kind of like narrative spikes of like it doesn't get to the full 10 as much as I love the episode 18 scenes, but like it gets pretty there's multiple scenes in here where it's just good strong writing that is character driven, that like has momentum to it, you can feel that it's building to something, right? And so, I like this better.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. Any closing thoughts on the episode before I ask the final question?
No, I think we covered everything.
Okay. So what's Twin Peaks about for you?
Ugh. You ask this question every time.
Yes.
Every time I'm unprepared for it. Twin Peaks is about Miss Twin Peaks.
All right. I don't hate that. With the pocket we're in right now, I don't hate that. Because you're accurate. What do you think? There's one episode in between this and what you've seen, the farthest you've seen ahead. What do you think happens?
I really want the conclusion between Bobby and Shelley, because Bobby is still, from what I saw in episode 21, Bobby and Shelley make up somehow because Bobby's still trying to help Shelley with Miss Twin Peaks. And so I'm curious of like what if any, what the reconciliation is there, because like what is happening there? I want to know that. I want to see, I imagine Norma makes an appearance the next episode because she's involved with Miss Twin Peaks. So she probably is in there. And then in terms of Wyndham Earl, I think the next move that Coop makes, maybe he's more cautious. That's what I want to know, if he's more cautious about the next move to make on the chessboard. So we'll see about that. That's what I think will happen next episode.
What do you think's going to happen with the John Justice Wheeler Audrey bit?
Oh, I forgot about that.
As does everybody.
Audrey comes back. Yeah. Audrey comes back and she realizes he's gone. Maybe he leaves a letter for her. Maybe. Because that'd be kind of rude if he spent that scene talking with Coop about how much he loves her, and then for him to just leave, like I imagine he leaves something behind for her. And then unfortunately, I think she spends the episode moping when she shows up. Like she'll probably come back and then she's sad. So, no high hopes for Audrey kicking ass next episode. She's gonna be depressed. So that's what I think will happen with that one.
Okay. That's fair enough. All right. I think that covers what are the main possibilities for that next episode for you. What do you think happens in the next episode we watch?
We're watching.
Yeah,
Ooh,
without a spoiler.
That's
to give away a little bit of information. What I'm looking at the list, and oddly enough, these are almost synchronous. This episode and the following episode are almost synchronous with the IMDb list. Even though everything else is jumping around all over the place, these are only one off from each other. I only rate it one higher than the IMDb list does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking at the episode that happens after it, not spoiling it.
Yes.
But I think I think we'll get more Thomas Eckert's storyline in his plotting, and then more Thomas Eckert, more Hank, I think. So Norma is probably going to make a big appearance that episode. That's where I think that goes. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think that'll do it for us. So, remember to save the pine weasel.
And brush your teeth.